This is a video about the Realistic Rebalancing mod, a sophisticated modification for Jagged Alliance Back in Action and Jagged Alliance Crossfire. In this video I will explain the basic changes this mod does to either game. It adds a lot of bug fixes, such as stuff not working as intended because of developer typos in the game files, and fixes misleading descriptions, improvements to the game mechanics, and it adds a whole bunch of new weapons to the campaign. And the base gameplay stays the same, so the game is still like it was originally intended by the developers, only better. So I guess you could call this a community patch. Okay, let's have a look at the mercenaries. There have been changes to several stats that affect game mechanics, such as agility, perception and stealth. And there have been a few changes because of misleading character descriptions. For example, when a melee character is described as an expert on stealth, he should not be heard sneaking from 120 meters. Yeah, and there have been changes to the character traits. For example, the tooltips do now show exactly what the trait does. This is very useful. The explosives trait has been renamed to Grenadier because it only affects grenades. There have been important changes to the starting equipment, starting inventory of the mercenaries. For example, Thor used to start with a silenced Desert Eagle, which makes no sense. So he's a German guy, so I gave him a silenced USP. Makes much more sense. And there are new weapons in the starting inventory. For example, this British guy is now using a 1911. It's a new weapon. All mercenaries that have mechanical skill do now start with maintenance consumables, for example weapon oil, so they can keep weapons in shape. You have a much wider selection of mercenaries you can start the game with. Before, your selection was very small, there were always problems, and now this has been changed, so you can hire a lot of these. If you want to start the game using, for example, this SWAT commander or some other guy, for example Corporal Anderson, you will spend all your money on this guy, so you have to start the game solo with a limited amount of ammunition and no money to buy new stuff, so you have to mostly fight using weapons you pick up from the ground, and you have nobody to cover your back, nobody to heal your wounds, so it is quite challenging. It's not easy mode. If you feel like starting a game using Meltdown in Spider, for example, this does work now, so you can make a women-only team or whatever. There have been also changes to the recruitable NPCs, because they used to be really crappy, and now they have a few small improvements, and also the level cap has been changed, so you can get more level ups now. This also helps to shape recruited NPCs into something more useful. In the vanilla game, the non-modified game, which I won't show here, the weapons were incredibly unrealistic and very imbalanced. So, for example, the TAR-21 was completely overpowered due to hidden stats, while other weapons such as the AK-47, the AKM, Type 85 and lots of others were underperforming. And this mod does rework all of the stats completely and makes every weapon more realistic and more balanced at the same time. The game still plays the same as before. The time to kill, the hits it takes to kill is all the same on average. It's just that every weapon does now perform like you would expect it to. And now you ask, why did the weapons need to be changed? I can give you a few examples. Do you know the FAMAS? It is a bullpup rifle with a long barrel and fires rifle rounds at really high muzzle velocity. And then there's the Glock pistol, which fires 9mm parabellum pistol rounds from a short barrel. In the vanilla game, the Glock pistol had more effective range than the FAMAS assault rifle, which makes no sense at all. And another example would be the Desert Eagle pistol, which fires 357 Magnum rounds, very powerful, and had a range of 13, the lowest range of all weapons in the game. And at the same time, the shotguns birdshot would have twice as much effective range as the 357 Magnum round. So this definitely needed to be changed, among a lot of other stuff. There were also hidden stats hidden from the player that made no sense at all. The hidden accuracy bonus for the TAR-21, which turned this into the best weapon of the game. I've also reworked all the hidden stats so that they work like you expect them to. And the most important hidden stat, the actual accuracy of the gun, the chance to hit your targets, is now displayed in the item description. That's very, very useful. And the weapon's range and accuracy has been recalculated, taking into account the ammo type, the barrel length, the muzzle velocity, and the quality of the sights. There's completely new calculation for hipfire. And before, many weapons had really shitty hipfire, for example the submachine guns. And now the hipfire accuracy depends on the weight, shape and recoil of a gun. So a short lightweight weapon with low recoil, such as the MP7, does now have really good hipfire accuracy. Also, the aim speed has been reworked, especially for short-range weapons such as pistols and shotguns, because they are forced to fight at close range, and in the vanilla game they had by far the worst aim speed of all weapons, which made them basically pointless. And there have been a lot of fixes for the weapons. For example, the AK-47 is now using the correct ammo type, and shotguns have been completely reworked. Also, this mod adds new weapons to the game. A lot of them. The weapons from the DLCs have completely new stats, have been completely rebalanced because they were so overpowered and stupid. And they have now been added to the normal single player campaign. So, and the way to get them is to either buy these new weapons from the online shop, or you can go to one of the arms traders in Cumbria. The ammunition in the vanilla game was completely unrealistic, so it had to be reworked. For example, a 357 Magnum round was 4 times as effective against body armor as a 7.62 NATO high-powered round. So makes no sense at all. Another example, the 45 ACP, which is a very large low-velocity round, had exactly the same effectiveness against body armor as the high-powered 5.56 NATO round. So obviously there was something completely wrong. And yeah, my mod fixes all that and makes all projectiles more realistic. The descriptions of all items have been reworked. Many have been replaced. For example, the grenade launcher used to say that it's a perfect weapon against tanks, while it actually does 0 damage against tanks, so this had to be changed. and the silencer description was completely useless. Now it shows a list of all compatible weapons, so whenever you want to buy a weapon that is compatible, all you have to do is look at the description of the silencer and you will see which weapons you can fit it to. The consumables have been reworked, so for example, weapon oil used to be completely useless. Most of the time it wouldn't work. It had only a few charges and it was extremely heavy, like an artillery shell. So in the vanilla game you usually would not pick it up and not carry it around because it was a useless item. And this has been changed. Our weapons are more durable, they jam less and need less maintenance, and the oil has been changed to a more proper weight. It works more reliably and it has more charges than before. So maintaining your gun is now less annoying, significantly less annoying. You don't have to use the weapon oil every 3 kills on your TAR-21 anymore. Now you can use it every 8 or 10 kills and your weapon will still function. Game mechanics. So stealth works much better than before. So for example,
I hear you.
Opening a door does not alert every enemy in a 150 meter radius to your presence.
I'm on it.
So you can
I hear you.
actually get into buildings now without alerting everyone to your presence. In addition to
I
that,
hear you. Got it.
the sound you make when walking slowly
Consider it done.
has been significantly decreased because this could be heard
I hear
120
you.
meters.
Copy that. Roger that.
So what's
On
the
my
point
way.
of playing a
On my
melee
way.
merc when you cannot sneak up onto people successfully? Stance penalties. When you go prone, your weapon has the maximum accuracy, the base accuracy, and when you change the stance, you get a penalty to the base accuracy. And this hidden stat was quite ridiculous in the vanilla game. For example, you would get a 46% penalty for firing a pistol non-prone in an indoor environment. So you were forced to fight prone. Even in this situation, you were forced to fight prone because the pistol would not hit reliably when aiming from a standing stance. And this has been completely reworked for all weapons. So the penalties make much more sense now. The guard mode works more reliably. That is the mode that allows you to automatically defend yourself or give automatic cover fire. All militia have slightly buffed accuracy so that they get at least a few shots at the attackers before they get killed. And the inventory of all the traders has been reworked, so they are completely new weapons now that hadn't been before in the campaign. And then there are new convenience items available, such as cleaning kit and oil. Why would a weapon trader who has a ton of weapons available not have any maintenance equipment? So, and there's new stuff. For example, from time to time there will be a few grenades available for purchase for the new added grenade launchers. So if you like this mod, spread the word, share it with your friends. Thank you.